Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Javier. Welcome to another episode of the Analytical Eye Show. Cheers. Happy Wednesday. I'm gonna get this out of the way first, because I'm not about to sit up here and we not about to sit up here and start talking. I said that twice, huh? We're not about to sit up here and start talking and my lips go dry. And we're gonna make sure this camera's recording, because that's what we do here. Just, just the nature of the game, y'all. Just rock with me, roll with me, rock with me. But happy Wednesday. I hope y'all having a good day so far. Like I told y'all, we in the middle of a hurricane. Just got a notification and my boo was texting me, be careful, that it's categorizing up to, and flow with how I talk, okay? He's so nasty. Oh, God. His only concern is for his cheeks. That's what his concern is for. Gotta keep my... Yeah, we won't read that to y'all, but I still love it either way. But anyways, let me say this. I was going to say this in the last episode. So I used to have my contacts in, right? So I'm pretty sure I may have noticed that my eyes are not sterling silver blue-ish, silver grayish or whatever. But I was going to put on my contacts, but I don't like the way the ring light and my lights in here that I have are on me, and then they show up in the light, and that bothers me. I can't stand when I'm watching somebody's video, and I know this, but it just bothers me, and I have OCD, and I'm a professional about stuff like that, so I just can't. So I'd rather just, long as I make sure I'm looking at this little dot on my camera, like I'm looking at that, I won't look cross-eyed or nothing like that. I'm not cross-eyed. My eyes don't turn inward or nothing like that. I don't have a lazy eye or anything like that. But I'm just saying. But I hope y'all having a good Wednesday. Pray for us down here in Florida. God bless us all. Hopefully we stay safe. But I hope y'all having a good day. You're blessed and highly favored. Can I get an amen for that? Okay. Before we get started, though, I want to talk a little bit about... Hold on. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on. Just let me send out this quick text. I should probably just go... Okay. Sorry, y'all. Time to text my boo. Boo takes priority, but this show is my priority too. But I gotta multitask. So, okay. Okay. Today we are going to talk. This title of this episode is called. Let's look. You do not have to like. You do not have to like it, or not like it. You don't have to like. You don't have to accept. You do have to respect. Okay. How should I start? Because there's usually an origin about everything that I talk about on this show, where something just clicks in me from something I watch, something I hear, something I sing, something I write, something I act, some part where it inspires me to want to say something. And this episode has been tailored in my mind, it's been in my mind for a long ass time for me to talk about. And I think I may have even tried to mention it in other episodes and kind of get hints at it, but I've never fully fledged, pedal to the metal, let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. The inspiration behind this is from religion to the LGBT community to the last episode I talked about, which is abortion, gender roles, as far as the traditional way of doing things versus now with men and women, and just everything, right? So Anyways, sorry, got a little bit of a, had to send a little bit of a, not a serious, like bad serious way, but just a emotional, good serious text message to him. So, anyways, the inspiration behind this episode is just really, I'm sick and tired of everybody suppressing everybody with their beliefs, with their perspectives, their opinions, their mindset and how they view life to be lived. You know what I'm saying? And just as much as religious people do it to LGBT community, the LGBT community does it to straight people and people that are not of the LGBT community and people that are of religion. Religion suppressing people's voting rights and beliefs and of abortion and shit like that, or shall I say white people with the voting and the religion with the abortion. You got people's different religions suppressing other people's different religions. You got people suppressing and trying to delete black history from in all of our books and all of our education, all of our triumphs, all of our tribulations, all of our struggles that have been inflicted on us and that we've inflicted on our own community, and our greatness away from school that they barely don't even really teach unless it's Black History Month. And even then, we only learn about Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King. Really, it's pitting Martin Luther King and Malcolm X against each other, because we talk about how we shouldn't be like Malcolm X with the violence, but we should be more like Martin Luther King, and talk about how Malcolm X was all wrong and Martin Luther King was all right, when actually both of them were right. It's just the methods that they went about it. I agree with them both, because they both two different dynamics, but at the end of the day, they fought for the same goddamn cause, which is black empowerment, black betterness, black love, black everything. You see what I'm saying? But yes, you do not have to like, and this especially is to the religious aspect and the sexual aspect. Meaning, whatever sexual orientation you are, whatever you want your gender to be, whatever religion you believe in or who you believe in or follow, you do not have the right, and this is to the hate groups like Aryan Brotherhood, the Proud Boys, KKK, Nazis, anything at all. You do not have to like somebody or something or their being. You don't have to accept them, but you have to respect them. And the reason, I gotta get with people. They probably blowing up my damn thing talking about, oh, well, Aria, what do you mean they don't have to accept you? Nobody has to accept the damn thing from you. Nobody has to accept you. They don't have to like you. Because let me say this, the reason why I said the accept part is because when if they have a different belief than you and they're so gun-ho in that belief, they don't have to accept what you believe in. They don't have to accept it because it can be contradictory. It can be disrespectful. It can be blasphemy. It can be whatever they want to call it against whatever they believe. But they have to respect your way of living. They have to respect your way of being. But you do not, in the sense of them wanting to respect how you live your life or whatever it is, you don't have to. You do not have the right to suppress them and keep forcing upon them what you are. You see what I'm saying? Let me give an example. A church person does not have a right to suppress somebody that is gay, right? But a gay person does not have a right, if they know that this person is uncomfortable with how they live their life, if they know that this person does not like their way of living, does not have a right to sit up here and shove it in their face. You don't have that right. And I'll say that to the end of this earth. You don't. You don't. For example, I'm bisexual. Right now I have a boo, my man. I have a friend named Anthony. He is straight. But I don't suppress, me and my man, how we have sex and all this stuff and talk about male-on-male relationship and suppress him with, or like really shove it in his face. I don't do that. Because it's not about me suppressing myself and how I live my life. It's about respecting his boundaries and how he operates in his life. But he respects me. And he doesn't treat me any different if I was just a straight person. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you another example. Jews don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah. They don't believe that. And if he is the Messiah, once they die, they will see that date that he will then, they need proof. You see what I'm saying? They don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah. Christians do. As a Christian, I don't have a right to suppress Jews and say, hey, motherfucker, Jesus is the Messiah. What the fuck you talking about? Da-da-da-da-da-da, and suppress them with it. I may not like that perspective that they have. I may not accept it because it's going against my belief in God and Jesus. Like, what, huh? It's going against that. But I have to respect where they are. And I'm not going to shove it in their face and disrespect their religion and how they operate. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you another example. Whites believe they're superior to blacks. They don't want us to learn. They don't want us to be smart. They don't want us to be educated. They don't want us to have great food, great health care, all that stuff like that. And every day they suppress us because they don't like the color of our skin, because they feel like they're superior to us, that they're the top. And I already talked about this on this other episode. But and they do it day in and day out. And we've been pushing against that drive for forever. But let me tell you this, white people, you don't have the right. You don't have to like me because I'm black. You don't have to accept me because I'm black. But you damn well have to respect me. I don't need to go to your schools. The only reason why they call it Ivy League is because it's white people's schools. That's it. I don't need to go to your school. I'm good with that. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I am really good. So when I say this to y'all, you don't have to like somebody or a group of people or a person, place, or a thing. You don't have to accept it, but you do not have a right to disrespect it. You have to respect it. And it's never that thing of, what you're saying is church is separate but equal. No. I'm saying it's okay to be different, but be equal. When you have the respect there is paramount. There is 8 billion people on this earth. We're not all going to get along. We're not all going to agree with how we live our lives. We're not all going to agree with how we do things. But we have to respect where a person is in life, where a person is going in life, and whatever roads they decide to take. You don't see a lion disrupting the way an elephant lives. There are 2 different animal species on this earth. They operate differently. Same thing with the elephant to a lion. You don't see that. You don't see, you know what I'm saying? You just don't see the disrespect, you know what I'm saying? You don't have a right to tell somebody the way they should live or force somebody to accept the way you live. Just be you. But in return, though, those same people that are different than you or operate in a different capacity, the way they feel their normal is actually the normal, doesn't have a right to suppress your way of living. So it's a 2-way street. So for those people that are all about, against the LGBT or against abortion or against somebody else's religion or race or creed, whatever it is, you have a right to not like or accept that. But you have to respect it and not suppress them and say, you don't have a right on this land or in this earth to be who you are. Because who the fuck are you? Did you create this world? Were you the cause of the Big Bang Theory, or are you God? For those that don't believe in God, because remember, I have to be open here. I have to show different sides of the spectrum. So, but then those are the people that say, God said, let there be light, and there was. So technically, that was the Big Bang Theory, technically, for me. But I don't have a right to suppress you and say, that didn't happen. I don't have a right to tell my science teacher who really didn't believe nothing in no religion and tell her, the Big Bang Theory didn't happen, because in the Bible, it says, God said, let there be light, and there was. So there was just no random Big Bang Theory that didn't happen and we came from another universe. This is the universe because God said it is. I don't have a right to say that. That's your belief. That is your belief. But what you don't have to do is right to suppress my belief and say, there is no God out here. He didn't do this, he didn't do that. And suppress my feeling that every time I talk about God, you hit me on the, this is another example I can basically put in there. When you went to Catholic schools, the nuns would beat your left. If you were a left-hand writer and you got caught writing with your left hand, they'll beat your left hand with like what was it, a hammer or some shit, or like those teacher sticks or whatever, because they wanted you to only write with your right hand, because they say left-handed people, it's not right. You should not. There should be no left-handed writers. There should be only right-handed writers. That's the same thing that I'm saying here. You may not like somebody that's left-handed. You may not accept it, but you have to respect it. Stop forcing people. Stop suppressing people with your way of doing things. Another thing I gotta say, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't give a damn what anybody got to say about it. The Olympics made me mad. That opening number that I saw of that Last Supper thing that happened, that was disrespectful, that was conniving, and that was wrong for the LGBT community to do that shit. That was flat out wrong. And I'm not going to go into an explanation on why it was wrong. I'm just going to say it's okay for you to disrespect my religion, my God. But if I did it to you, you want to cancel me. You want to say I'm homophobic, or you want to say this, or you want to say that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you don't like being disrespected for your way of living, don't disrespect mine. And for all those people out there that make Christians like me look bad because you want to suppress people the way that they want to live, think, breathe, or whatever they want to eat, same thing. Just like with vegan, this goes way past just, we're talking about people that are carnivores versus people that want to be pescatarians and vegetarians and vegans and shit. If I want to eat meat, let me eat meat. If I want to eat some chitlins, let me eat chitlins. You may not like the fact that I killed that pig. You may not accept the way I killed that pig. But guess what? You're going to have to respect it. It is what it is. The same thing with you. If you want to eat the leaves, the grass, the dirt, fertilization, all that shit that you do, that's you, boo. But don't put it off on me. This is my way of living. This is how I like to eat. This is how I like to do things. See what I'm saying? And you don't have a right to cause destruction in my life because of what you believe, what you feel is right. Because you have your way of living, I have mine. Now I get it. There are times where you believe you are doing what you feel is right, and trying to redirect somebody's mind, redirect somebody's soul, redirect somebody's being, because you feel like they may be on the wrong path or on the wrong trajectory. But that's not for you to decide. You make sure you on the right trajectory. Hold on, let me make sure this thing's still recording, because I'm over here saying a whole bunch of. I'm over here. I feel like I'm speaking. I feel like I'm in no sense I'm speaking the word, but I just wanted to make sure this stuff was here. Hold on. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm over here. Best. I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Um. Whew. Okay, sorry. Everybody's blowing me up about this hurricane, so I apologize, y'all. The hurricane, Helen or Helene, it's spelled Helene. So it's not Helen. I think it's Helene. But it was initially first we had Hurricane Debbie. Well, it was really a tropical storm, but then it dissipated. I think it was in the Gulf of Mexico, and it dissipated there. So, or it wasn't. It didn't really go nowhere. Or it actually changed the directory. Sorry, my bad. I'm so incorrect. So initially it was supposed to come over Tampa and then come up towards over Orlando, but it actually took a different trajectory. Like it changed directions and went more outer and then curved up towards Tallahassee, but it stayed a tropical storm and it just went over Tallahassee, then went under, like over a little bit over Jacksonville, and then curved where Brunswick, Savannah, Georgia area is, and then kind of went up there, and then it dissipated off into South Carolina, and and it stayed a tropical storm. This is actually the first hurricane I would say that brings some pause to a lot of people since I want to say I think it was 2021. I think that was. I can't remember the name of that hurricane, but that one actually came right over Orlando a little bit. And we got the high wind and everything like that. But luckily enough, it was not much damage, but we did have power out for, I think it was like, what was it like? At least my sector did for like, because I live stay in Winter Park, which is the east side of Orlando, going toward kind of closer, you know. I love Winter Park, but we had electricity out for, I think it was like 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours or whatever like that. So yeah, but this one, it started out as a heavy tropical storm. So I don't know what level tropical storms if they do those, but then it turned to, I guess it was like they were like, yeah, it's gonna turn to a hurricane. So I guess it was saying that it's going to become it's the way that the heaviness of the speed and everything of the hurricane is going to go ahead, and it's going to be a category 3. But now they're projecting that it's going to boost up to category 4. Luckily enough, it hasn't changed course yet, and it's going to still go up alongside the coast of Florida, but about, I don't know how many miles out from Tampa's coast, but it's going to basically, from what I saw was that we'll get the high the rain and stuff of, the high wind speed and rain of 25 to 30 miles per hour, but then the gust is supposed to be up to 50 or some shit like that, so it's just going to be heavy. The thing that sucks though is, with that being said, trees will start falling on the transformers and shit, knocking our power out and whatnot, so we shall see how that's going to turn out. But it's supposed to go up towards Tallahassee, over Tallahassee, and then start going all the way through the left side of Georgia, and then supposed to curve, and it's supposed to be at the top of, Mississippi, Tennessee, and I think that it's not Michigan, but is that Ohio or some shit like that, and it's supposed to start to dissipate out. But I don't know from that point, because it's tropical down here, is that supposed to be turned into a tornado, or what up there? I don't know, because now it's on the actual land, but praying for all the people in Tallahassee, and the people that are in all those states and stuff I just mentioned and stuff like that. These are the times I kind of wish I was back home in Colorado, because the most thing we ever got was a damn tornado warning, and we got hail and a blizzard, and that was it. We didn't get no ground shaking, we didn't have to worry about no heavy ass water, and we damn sure didn't have to worry about no tornadoes, or, you know, I mean, if anything, there was a little bit of firestorm, but even then, not that much, you know what I'm saying, because the majority of the year was pretty much cool. You know, I would say in Denver, I would say early September, or I would probably say maybe like, because we're in September now, so I would say like late September, that's when really winter for us starts happening, and then it goes all the way to like April-ish. I think the latest I've ever seen it was, I think there was like the end of April, like once in May, that it did snow. It was like cold as fuck. There was one time in June it did too, it snowed. That was crazy. But yeah. Hold on, let me see this. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I was talking, y'all, I get that every one of us on this earth, we have a plan for our kids, or a plan for, or we look at things differently from different perspectives. But it's not our job to suppress each other with what we say, what we think, what we feel, what we understand life to be from our perspective, from what we were raised, or whatever that is. You see what I'm saying? And when you have respect for someone, let me say this about respect. When you have respect, it makes people feel comfortable. So I want you to feel comfortable in your beliefs. I want you to feel comfortable in your rite of passage, in your right of sexuality, your right of being on this earth, your thoughts, your mind, and everything like that. You have that right. You have that right. You have that respect for me, no matter who you are. And there's countless things that I just mentioned in those categories I just mentioned. And I stated, I don't like it and I don't accept it, but I respect it. Not just sexually wise, part of the LGBT. I'm talking about religion wise. I'm talking about medically. I'm talking about financially. I'm talking about gender. Race wise, culture wise, creed, everything. There's countless things in this life that I don't like and I do not accept. But I have to respect it. It'd be like you bring a Ouija board in my house or a voodoo doll or something. I don't like that shit. I don't accept that shit. But I respect it. I respect people that believe in the devil and worship the devil. I respect them. That's their belief. And I know it's like, well, then they're wishing harm upon you and all this other stuff like that. Okay. But my belief says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Hate on me if you want, hater. I got God on my side. I'm good. Long as I got my beliefs. Long as I got my focus where I want it to be. Respect it. Respect is a two-way street, though. You respect my way of living, I respect your way of living. But if you disrespect my way of living, I'm going to drag you lower than the gutter to the Marianas Trench. That's just how it goes. I am in that, like that I spoke about in the last episode, in the sense where we're living in Old Testament times, but claim to be acting like we're in the New Testament times. Like the time of living where we are is the New Testament, but the way humans as we operate is like the Old Testament, like the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing. And that's why we can't get anywhere in life. Because we're operating as God once was, where he wasn't a love, where he was a God that was, this is me, this is how I'm going, and you follow everything. He was a God of not all of vengeance, but he was a God of like my way or the highway, and he was very. I don't want to make God to be out wrong, but from my interpretation of what I've seen in some of the scriptures and stuff, God was really vengeful. God was really like not playing around. But he now in the New Testament, from my understanding of things, from the times of some of the scriptures I've read, some of the perspectives and stuff I've heard of different pastors and Bible study and things like that, is that he's more of a loving God, he's more of a forgiving God, he's more of an understanding God, but he will still not have any God before him. That's just my belief, but I'm not going to suppress anybody else that believes in anything other than that. But I don't expect you to pressure me on what and challenge me and disrespect me on what I believe to be what is to be the truth. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm saying? You know, I want, oh my God, I'm telling you, people are blowing up my phone. People are blowing up my phone. But anyways, that's what I have to say in regards to this. You know, it's very, very simplistic, y'all. I don't see the problem in it. And it's a lot of it, not even just what you say, it's how you say it. And sometimes your wording, when you're commenting on people's posts, when you're replying to people through text messages or whatever like that, it's all in not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. Again, you don't have to like somebody. You don't have to accept somebody. You don't have to invite them into your world. But you have to accept them in their world while we all preside in this one world. The world is made up of more than just us. There is over, what was it, like, I think when I did my research, 7,000 languages. That means you see how many people there are within that 8 billion, over 8 billion people and counting? This world it amazes me how everything is so different from one another. But we can't accept the fact that that's your normal. This is my normal. And I will never be able to see your normal as normal, and you'll be able to never see mine as normal. But what we can normalize is that we all have life. We all have blood in our veins. We all have hearts, lungs, brains, eyes, nose, dick or pussy, ass, legs, thighs, hips, all that stuff. We can all agree on that. That's the normal part in it. Let's focus on that. Normalizing everybody having the health care. Normalizing everybody having equal opportunity for finances and food and water and education, and implementing all of that stuff into one umbrella where we can all be educated on things. And it's not about, oh, I don't believe in that being taught to our kids in school, so you can't teach it. No, your kids need to see that there is more to it than just their community, more to it than just their zip code, and that no being is superior or supreme to any other human being on this earth. And that's just the way it goes. That's the way that love goes. That's the way that life goes. That's the way that people goes. That's the way families go. That's the way that connections and business and all that stuff goes, is inclusivity of respect. Respect. The likeness doesn't have to be there. It is warranted, is needed, but it's not required. The acceptance doesn't have to be there. And I know acceptance just means, okay. And when I mean acceptance, it's mean your own kind, long as your own kind accepts you, cool. Who you flock with, who birds of a feather flock together. Whatever feathers you have on you that makes you that bird, long as the people you flocking with accept you, cool. Not everybody's gonna do that, and that's okay. But the number one thing over anything else in this life you demand, and you don't take no bullshit for, is the respect. As a human being. Not a gay human being, not a straight human being, not a black human being, not a white human being, not an Asian human being, not a Mexican human being, not a Christian human being, not a Catholic or human being, not a Jew human being, not a French human being, not a carnivore human being, not a vegetarian human being, not a human being that loves BMW, not a person that loves Cadillacs or whatever, just as a human being. That when I was brought forth into this world, I came in the same way as you, with hair, eyes, nose, lips, a skull, lungs, heart, nipples, ass cheeks, dick or pussy, legs, thighs, hips, oxygen, all that a tongue, the taste, all that stuff. That's the only thing that makes us one, and that's where we need to start. That's the point of this episode. I know it sounds very harsh, but it really is not that hard. It really is not. And if you walk away from this conversation saying Javier is saying that he wants us to be separate but equal, you didn't even listen to anything I just said. You didn't. Because everything about us makes us different. And not everybody's going to understand your difference. Not everybody is. And quite frankly, we don't have enough time on this earth. We ain't got enough time on this earth to be trying to learn and earn and all that stuff like that. Just say, you know what, cool. That's your way of doing things. I respect it. That's it. That's it. And a lot of times we're looking for the understanding and the reason. Sometimes the why is never there. Just like we would never understand, for me and my religion, with God. And I'm going to talk about God a lot on this show. So if you don't like it, sorry, you got to go, boo. It is what it is. I'm not changing it. He's my Lord and Savior, and that's just how it is. With God, I can ask for the why all day long. He ain't got to give it to me. Same thing with humans. A lot of times we don't get the why behind things. You know, why we do this versus that. Or why we say this versus that, or why we react to this versus that, or sometimes the why is never there, and sometimes the why just don't make sense. Sometimes, like they say, the math ain't mathin', the why ain't ryin'. You see what I'm saying? You know? But as long as the respect is respecting, I'm cool. Long as you just respect where I'm at in life and how I choose forth my life to go and where I'm going and everything, I do the same for you. And I don't expect you guys to like everything I say on this show. I don't expect you guys to accept everything I say on this show, but just respect everything I say on this show. Because what I mean is with no malice intent. What I mean is to speak for everybody. The left, the right, the male, the female, the black, the white, the up, the down, the side, the round. You know English, you know French, you know Chinese, you know Swahili, you know whatever, Mandarin, Cantonese, Russian, whatever it is that you speak. I'm here for it all. I want it all. I'm a Renaissance person. I'm a Renaissance man at the end of the day. So that's just how I operate. And I expect everybody to operate in the same facet and capacity, with acknowledging that we have so much difference in all of us. And just because I'm classified, quote unquote, as fully on black because the color of my skin, I'm really mixed. But just to say that I am different than the next black person. And I may not like or accept everything that black person does, but I'm going to respect it. Unless it's hurting our human civilization as a whole, hurting future generations, hurting yourself even, because sometimes we have to protect each other from ourselves, but not at the not covering it up as suppression, not covering up saying you're protecting someone by suppressing them. I'm protecting you from you, but really you're suppressing my belief, or you're suppressing my way of lifestyle to fit comfortable for yours, or to make it in your mind okay, or whatever it is, or to say this is the way you should be living, not that. No. It's just like a terrorist. A terrorist is going to be a terrorist. They're going to find a way to terrorize. And the more you try to stop somebody from doing something, the more they become that. Because that's their destiny. That's their destitute. That's their journey. That's their road. Just like when a father tries so hard to stop their daughter from dating somebody or liking this boy, the more she may like him. But as long as you're showing up a human being, a respectable human being for yourself, and you're so secure in yourself, you ain't got to worry about how they live in their life, or how they orchestrating their comings and goings, or whose legs they spreading open for who, or what they do with their bodies, or who they believe in, or who they are attracted to, or who they classify themselves as, or what culture they come from, or whatever it is. Because that's them. Think of it as a celebrity or somebody that's in the public eye that has a fan base. There's why these people flock to them, and not everybody. Not everybody flocked to Jesus, but you will see him. He preached the word of God to anyone, to any and everyone, but he respected them to know, if you ain't part of this, I don't like it, because this is my God. This is my Father. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But he's not going to be so gung-ho on, you need to listen, this, and torment everybody that didn't believe in all that stuff. No, Jesus didn't do that. He didn't do that. He treated everybody equal and on the same playing field, and gave them mercy, gave them understanding, and he gave them grace, and he gave them respect. God dang it. He gave them respect at the end of the day. That's who we need to be like. Be like that. Not everybody's going to like you. They didn't like Jesus. Not everybody accepted Jesus. But you got to respect them. Respect. And I know respect is earned as much as it's given. And some people don't give, so some people don't give respect. So then I'm not going to give back. And nobody, but at the end of the day, this tit for tat stop. It's got to stop. Give all the respect, even when the respect isn't due. Because at the end of the day, you can look back and say, I respected you. And that's how life goes. And I know it gets hard at times, but you just got to do it. It's paramount. It's required. It's mandatory. It's a must. It's a need. It's a want. It's a desire. And you have to make sure that you're doing your part as a human being on this earth, no matter what, who, where, or how you are as a human being, that at first sight, you are one with everybody. Everybody is on the same level playing field as you. Because nobody's better than anybody. Nobody's worse than anybody. Nobody is more evil than the next. Because remember, in the eyes of God, I rob a candy store, you kill somebody. At the end of the day, we both did bad. We both stole. We both sinned. It doesn't matter who did what, and his is more because he took a life and I didn't. It don't matter. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. It's written there black and white. And then my sin is no greater than yours. But as people, we classify sins and greatness differently for everybody. And then that's how you get the dividingness and the separatingness and everything, instead of saying the way you learn is different from the way I learn, but we both equals. That's okay. Or the way you may get something may not be the way I get something. And that's okay. But we still the same. We still equals in this. I'm gonna respect that. And even if you'll never understand what I'm learning in school versus what you learning in school, whatever like that, that's fine. Because this is the way, it's kind of like the show The Wire. I saw it, and the way that the teacher had to change his equations around, the way he would word a problem to fit the community that he was teaching in. They grew up in They have in Baltimore, so they don't know about little Jimmy and newspapers and stuff like that. They know about selling drugs and stuff. So applying the math and all that stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, here's the answer." And that's not saying that's right, and it's not promoting that way of life. It's just respecting that this is where they are, this is how they learn, and I can actually bring them to this sector where they actually know how to do this and do that. You see what I'm saying? You meet people where they're at, not meet them where they're supposed to be, or try to punch them up to where they're supposed to be, or punch them in their back because they're not where you deem that they're supposed to be. That's for God to decide, or a higher power, whoever higher power you believe in. If you don't believe in nobody at all, I'm just saying. I'm trying to be open to all realms here, but I'm just saying. But yeah, this is how it goes, and that's just the way of being in life, y'all. That's just really what it is. It all comes down to humanity. It all comes. That's what. All right, hey, what's up, y'all? I am so sorry. My iPad ran out of storage, and it stopped recording the message, what I was saying, my episode. So I'm gonna come back. I'm basically back, so I can finish out the episode. So I apologize. Shit happens. That's why I kept getting up, because I wanted to make sure it was still recording. But I didn't think that I had. I forgot to delete some old videos that I already have on my computer for what I edited for this show and uploaded already. That I already have on there that I didn't delete. So I apologize. But basically what I was saying is that, like I said, it comes down to humanity, y'all. It comes down to just being equals in this life and not trying to sit up here. Hold on. And that was another thing that was bothering me in that episode that I noticed with my hair. Hold on. This part right here was bothering me. Oh my God. I don't know if that was bothering y'all, but it was like sticking up. You could tell. So that was bothering me. I always try to try to get a perfect bun. This should be like, I be hating when people be having these fucked up ass buns and stuff, but I can never get mine right. I literally sat in the mirror for like 20 minutes trying to get the right bun, and I still don't feel like this shit is even right. I don't know, but hopefully just better for right now. But anyways, like I was saying, y'all, at the end of the day, let me make sure this shit recorded. Hold on. Okay, and the microphone is hooked up. Okay, my apologies. But like I was saying, y'all, it all comes down to just basic humanity, simple things. And like I said, we gotta do better for everyone. And we should not suppress anyone with whatever we believe is to be deemed fit for their lives and stuff like that, because their way of living is different from mine, But we're gonna move on to our fun fact for the day, because I, don't want to continue to repeat the same old shit, but I feel like repeating the same shit will hopefully get through to the message to the people that are gonna sit up here and watch this and may not be able to take away from what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? But today, for our fun fact, we're gonna talk about Miss Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel, she was born in Wichita, Kansas. I believe I said that right. June 10th, 1893. And she died October 26th in 1952 at the age of 59 in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles. She was an actress, a singer, a songwriter, and a comedian. Excuse me. For her role as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, which I haven't seen, I probably will never watch, but for maybe Miss Hattie McDaniels, I will. We'll see about that. I'm not sure really what the premise is about Gone with the Wind is about, but I've always heard about it, though. but she won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, becoming the first African American to win an Oscar. Not just African American woman, but African American man as well. She has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she was also inducted into the Black Filmmakers Hall of Fame in 1975, and in 2006 became the first Black Oscar winner honored with a U.S. postage stamp. In 2010, she was inducted into the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame. Whoop, whoop, shout out to Colorado for doing that. She experienced racism and racial segregation through her career, and as a result, through her treatment, she was unable to attend the premiere of Gone with the Wind in Atlanta because it was held in a whites-only theater. At the Oscar ceremony in Los Angeles, she sat at the segregated table at the side of the room. So, and in 1952, she died of breast cancer. Her final wish was to be buried in the Hollywood Cemetery, but was denied because at the time of her death, the graveyard was reserved for whites only. And as I read all that to you guys, it just connected my brain how Hattie McDaniels even connects to this episode, because I just literally thought I'm always thinking of who else do I need to mention, who else do I may know that is an inventor or a trailblazer within the Black community, especially women, to mention. And I was just like, oh yeah, Monique is always talking about Hattie McDaniels. And I ain't gonna lie, before Monique, I think I've seen clips of Hattie McDaniels, but never really like honed in on who this woman was. But when Monique really started talking about her, shout out to Monique, that's when I started to learn a little bit more about Miss Hattie McDaniel. And so I give Ms. Monique the props for that. And even through that, they didn't like her. They didn't accept her. And they didn't respect her. Bump the fact that she was a Black woman, she's an actress in this movie. She's an actress being nominated for this award. But we're going to sit her at the Black people table, the segregated table. We're going to sit her where she's not welcome. And I couldn't attend my own premiere for my movie. They didn't respect her either. They didn't respect her as an actress. They didn't respect her as a star in this film. As the star in this film. They didn't respect her. They didn't respect her at all. They just saw her as Mammy. And we're going to treat Mammy any way we can and want to. And everything I talked about in this episode is the same thing there. They didn't have to like her. They didn't have to accept her as a Black woman. But they had to respect that she's a Black woman, and it ain't going nowhere. It ain't changing nothing. And she ain't doing them no types of wrong. She's an actress in this film. We have to respect that. She was hired for that film. And she's the star of this film. And she should be able to sit with us. She should be able to attend her premiere and not be segregated. Not sit in the balcony in the very, very, very back, talking about the front row. That's how it should be. And some may say, oh, well, they accepted her by putting her in the room. They didn't have to sit her with the table with the rest of white people. No. They did. Because that's how you respect somebody. If you have all the other supporting actresses that were nominated in that category at one table, why is she the only one that's at the other table? Because at that point, then it's not about liking or accepting. It's not even respecting her. Bump the fact that she's Black. Okay, she's an actress that so happens to be Black, that is nominated for the Best Supporting Actress, and she's going to sit at the table with the other supporting actresses at that table. If that's how they had it back then, that's just I'm imagining, because I'm sure they didn't have big arenas like the Adobe Theater where they now have the Oscars that they hold it at. I'm sure it was more like a banquet thing, like the Golden Globes or I think it's the Critics' Choice Awards, or they have them at actual tables and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? But you get my drift. So to you, Miss Hattie McDaniel, if I can not dig you up, but if I could go and transport you to where you're supposed to be, that would be one of my things that I would like to do in life for you. If I can never do that, if I can maybe talk to your family, is to see about having you removed from where you are now to where your final wishes were, and honor those and respect those wishes, because they didn't. And I want to apologize on their behalf because they probably ain't man or woman enough to, or both, to apologize to you in regards to that. Because you were treated very unfairly. You were treated very disrespectfully. And I want to apologize on their behalf to you, Miss Hattie McDaniel. And you are a trailblazer for all the other black women today that are fighting tooth and nail for better black women, for better pay, better equality, better roles, better positions within the productions, and all that stuff like that. And better voting when it comes to the award shows and all this other stuff like that. Not just the Oscars, but the Grammys, the Critic Choice Awards, the American Music Awards, everything. Just every award there's out there. They're fighting for betterness on all of it. Fairness, respect. And you have been one of the women that have led the charge in that aspect. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for that. You are the first, actually, not one of the women. You are one of the women, but you are the first to really start perpetuating that and propelling that movement. So I want to thank you, and I honor you, and I love you, Miss Hattie McDaniel. And I want to say to all the other black women out there that are fighting for that respect, where they pay you equally, give you the better treatment in the production aspect, everything in front and behind the cameras. Don't stop. Demand the respect, and if they don't want to give it to you, you kick down the door and you go in there and retrieve it yourself and let them know you're going to give it one way or another. I love y'all so much for watching this episode. I thank you so much. I appreciate you, Love Village. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and TikTok, because I always forget the TikTok part, at Avia Vassal. And you can follow the show on Facebook and Instagram at The Analytical Eye Show, and on Twitter at iAnalytical. I thank you so much for watching this episode. Remember to fight for your respect. They don't have to like you. They don't have to accept you. But they damn well have to respect you. And that's just how it goes in this life. And that is the fairness of it all. Because at the point when you treat everybody with respect, everybody gets treated fairly and everybody becomes the equal, right? Our differences are our differences that can propel and excel us all in our own unique individual ways. And that's okay. My normal is not your normal, and your normal is not my normal. But what is normal is life and humanity on this earth. I thank you so much again for watching this episode. Peace and love. I thank you so much. Let's continue to talk about things that meet the eye daily. And I'll see you next week on an all-new episode of The Analytical Eye Show. And please pray for everybody that's in Tallahassee and everybody that's going to be affected by this tropical storm / hurricane that's coming through. Helene, she's causing a lot of hell for us all. But I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all next week. Cheers. The Analytical Eye Show is presented by Analytical Eye Productions, a AAVR company.